Blessed be, friends. Ah, I apparently am going to take a pause. All right, there we go. I'm back again. Well, as you all well know, I very much believe that um, all outside situations and the land and place very much um, inform and affect the readings. And so as the intention for this video is to forecast some for the upcoming year, and the first thing that happened before I even really got to go into the cards at all was a phone call from someone that I did want to take. uh, we may have a good amount of interruptions this year, or it may just simply start off with some interruptions. And before we get into the tarot decks that I have out, who want to chat with us for the upcoming year, Modern Witch by Lisa Sturl and Sacred Sisterhood. This is a new deck. I really need to remember who the creators are to me. I am finding that the LP Oracle wants to start off, and all of the cards here are femme and femme presenting, and so for all of my masculine and non-binary watchers, know that these energies are 100% included in you, in your beautiful, unique body. On top, we may show Mura, she who hesitates, ponder, delay, confidence, while underneath that, we are Zenith, who prepares, formulates, strategizes, devises. Ooh, what a powerful combination to go back and forth between, like, I don't know, and I am planning and plotting. I am planning and plotting. And the strategy that is also potentially there, of making people think that we don't actually have a lot of confidence in what's going on next year, when really we do. And maybe it's a tactic, maybe it's a coping mechanism, maybe it's a trauma response, maybe it is learned behavior. But at the heart and in the center of it all for us is Primavera, who begins to launch, actualize potential. Oh, all of these like bright purple butterflies everywhere. And the fact that the name is Primavera, like, there's this part of me that is now like, okay, this year, whenever I have pasta primavera, I am going to be thinking about this, about the launching and the actualizing and my potential. And especially for those of you who have attended either the tarot show or any of my group tarot sessions, you know that at the end, one of the things that I ask all of us to do is to think about the message, what it is that we want to carry forth with us from the reading into our day-to-day lives, into whatever comes next. And one of the invitations is always to put it into something that you are eating or drinking so that you can literally ingest those messages later. And so how flippin' delightful that an essence that is central to our year is named Primavera, something that is literally edible. All right. So with that dichotomy, for our upcoming year, what is the path for our upcoming year? At the center. All right. So, fascinating. So, at the center, we have the Seven of Pentacles flanked by the Six of Swords and the Chariot. So, fascinating to me that the Chariot comes up in the card that is lightly towards our future, as this is the Gregorian calendar year card that we are currently in, and we are almost done with it. So this card is literally happening right now, because the Chariot, one of its many meanings, is coming to the end of that finish line of the end is in sight, and here we go. And this is just such a fascinating dichotomy of going fast and towards that finish line and speeding down the highway and waiting for the apples to become apples or the cherries to become cherries, because at some point when we are growing gardens, literally or metaphorically, we get to that point where everything that needs to be done is all in the hands of the plant. And that tomato is not going to form any faster or very fast, much faster from the flower with you watching it. The whole watched pot never boils adage, which is of course incorrect, but there will come a point this year where we just have to wait and trust that we are giving our loved creations enough food and nourishment, enough light, a stable enough environment to be able to grow and flourish. And with this Six of Swords, there is a reminder and an invitation that if the place that you are is not supporting that flourishing of your soul that you desire and that you deserve, or that the loved ones in your life deserve, go somewhere else. Go to a place, go to a land, because we we got the Chariot. We got lots of ways to move right now. And just in the world at large right now, at the time of this recording, is in huge upheaval, and so many more refugees, so many more displaced. And this figure slumped, and there's a name. I think in Venice they're called gondoliers. Um, the person who actually pushes and rows the boat. And it's interesting because, you know, every deck illustration is different and adds its own unique flavoring, seasoning to it. But one of the things that is coming up today is how this person in the front is hunched over and the person in the back is rowing the boat. We don't know if they are talking with each other or not. But it could be that this person rowing and doing that bit of the work of taking both of them from point A to point B, whatever the point A and the point B is, also is allowing this person sitting here to process whatever it is that they're going through, whatever it is they're leaving, whatever it is they are going towards, coming back to the card of what's underneath for us, the strategizing, this being of swords of the mind, of strategy, and whew, this like zebra headdress of the balance of black and white, of light and shadow. And sometimes for us to be able to do that work, we need to let somebody else do some work. And so it feels like sometimes this year we will be the person in the front processing, and sometimes we will be the person in the back pushing. Sometimes we will be the boat carrying. Sometimes we may be the water holding, feeling, washing. And maybe sometimes we'll be those mountains in the distance, the place that they are coming towards, coming home to. Because Seven of Pentacles is a homemaking card in some ways. Our central redhead has created quite the beautiful greenhouse. And there could also be a very, like, as came up here with Primavera, you know, sometimes the invitations are incredibly literal. Maybe it's a year to get a few more house plants, or to finally get that motorcycle and motorcycle license that you've been thinking about. So with Sacred Sisterhood, I am going to invite, I was going to invite our strengths, weakness, the SWOT analysis that I add of show us the strengths, weaknesses, and literally 4 cards fell out. So we have our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats or challenges. So our strengths this year will be the Ace of Pentacles. Our strength is being seeds, as de lumière, um, of being seeds, of having so many dreams and ideas, and as we have a central path of a gardener year, like part of gardening and farming is the seed collection. Weaknesses, Eight of Swords, of feeling stuck, of this is one that I can resemble for sure, of having so many ideas and not knowing what the next steps are going to be, and sometimes maybe even confusing the patience that needs to happen for other things to grow and bloom on their own timelines, for inactivity or of failing in our own minds. And so it feels like there is a real opportunity here, and especially as on top of it all, that first card, ponder, she the one who hesitates, like there is this this the hesitancy and the tentativeness. I'm drawn to our individuals' toes and how they're like curled up so close to underneath the body, and yet so also close to that water, of being able to tip the toes in and get them wet. Opportunities. Oh, our opportunities, la pendue, the hanged one. So sometimes this can be very literal, of take a circus class, do more inversions in your yoga practice, learn an aerial hoop, um, do tree pose. But this, the hanged one is, so the opportunity of looking at things from different point of views, the opportunity of cutting away and sacrificing what doesn't serve us for what we do want, for what it is that we are growing and cultivating together. To in this particular one, I'm really feeling the sway that happens in aerial work and trapeze work, that sway back and forth, that pendulum, and our ability to go back and forth. This, our individual here at the center, is all sexes and genders. Like, it is very much drawn in a way for everyone to see themselves. And I love that, both from the skin tone of all the different pigmentations and amounts of melanin, and I forget the name of um, I forget what that's called. It has a name. And this video might end up being in 2 parts since my battery is low and I don't want to pause to go and get my thing, my charger. And the challenges or threats, the Cavalier de Denier. It's fascinating that the threat or the challenge that we have is the Prince of Pentacles, of that slow and like, they're so, like with this card, the patient a patience card, and this card of like feeling stuck, and this night of being the slowest of all of the nights because trees take long time to grow. Like it feels very much like this is the year that we are coming up with is a year that, despite how much we want things to be fast and furious and happening, that the things will be happening, but there will also be so much either stuckness or that when we plant seeds in the ground, it takes a long time for them to grow, and that's okay. Like, that's part of their timeline, part of that divine timeline, and allowing that divine timeline. And it's also fascinating to me that this particular night looks much more like the wheelchair is on top of water rather than on top of earth, because of the shades of blue and the rolls, the curves of it. And there's something lovely in that juxtaposition to me as well for this upcoming year of defying gravity in a way. Like, that earth is floating on top, that wheelchair is not as heavy as it seems like it is going to be. And how can we be gentle and loving with ourselves this year? We are given invitation. Oh, I love this. Let's have a year where, in these moments of stillness, when we're waiting for stuff, to let our imaginations run wild, to build the fantasy dream houses and tree houses, and to bring people in with us, to tend and grow that magic secret garden and invite others there with us. Both of red bloods and green bloods, which is a new to me term for all of our plant friends and such that I just love and learned from Rain Crow. So yes, let us invite this beautiful treehouse into being and be patient, for things will take the amount of time they need to take. And that is our year forecast for the Witch's New Year that finishes off 2023 and goes into 2024. Have a beautiful year.